Hey, it's Reaper, and you're watching Heavy Metal Relics with Demilich. Fucked it up again. I get better than this.
Yeah.
So Antti from Demilich here. We're having a nice, personal, intimate interview here in the tour van, and I want to first and foremost get one important question out of the way. How is the band pronounced? Is it Demilich, Demilich, Demilich,
Or Demilich.
Demilich?
The German way. I really don't know. I tried to check once, and it depends on the area where you say the lich is not a very usual word. It's in some mythologies. And that's it. So, but I've heard lick and lich. Mainly.
Okay.
And nowadays I say lich. I've said lick and that German Demilich.
Oh, so it's definitely not a Finnish word then.
No.
So that's kind of brings me to the next. It's actually does it have anything to do with Dungeons and Dragons and like role playing games?
It does, yeah.
Specifically Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, well, I don't know about those things. I played some role playing games, but they were sci-fi or something. So I went through these books and found a cool looking undead, and it had Demilich. Like, oh shit, that looks cool as a logo.
Yeah.
And sounds good. And it has D in the start. Very good. Then there was Demigod in Finland.
Yeah.
And kind of, well, we weren't friends actually. I loved them. It's like, okay, let's have another Demiband in Finland.
Yeah. For us, dumber English-speaking audiences, your first album, how would you say the title of that?
I say Nespith.
Nespith. And so you usually work in like anagrams and stuff where that has kind of a story behind it in that it could be the spine or the penis.
But there's this, like with Eric Cyrino, the instrumental, like Eric Cyrino is no lyrics here.
Oh.
So Nespith is the spine.
The spine?
Yeah, but of course, funny people made it the penis.
Well, in a way, in the morning, the penis could be the spine, so it could have some relevancy.
But there was a story behind the spine. Like all the songs they tell a story, and there was an idea behind the spine, but I have forgotten it. What it was?
Oh yeah.
I remember I wanted the cover art to be a spine with some monster kind of people coming out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't remember why.
That sounds like a cool idea either way. For the original Necropolis CD and cassette, you had 4 lyrics printed in the anagram way, and then it's just those 4. Was that specifically for a reason, or just kind of like, oh my god, this is just too much work?
No, there was a reason. By the way, the anagrams are wrong because back then we didn't have the internet, and I had to send them printed. And the guys type them back again, so there are mistakes. Yeah, nowadays it would be easier.
Oh, so you had a helping hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, because we couldn't make we could have actually made the layouts back home, but we didn't think of it. I just sent the things there.
I see.
And they copied them, and of course, if you just copy letters, you get mistakes in it.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about Jess and the Ancient Ones. Kind of take a whole big turn now from death metal to something more rockin' because Jess and the Ancient Ones was getting pretty popular. Now they had done a tour with King Diamond. Now, were you out of the band by then, or did you do that tour?
I was there, yeah.
You did? Okay. I had heard, and I don't know if it's true, that he personally selected the band to do the tour.
Yep. He went through YouTube for bands and found our video. And he said to himself when listening, this is it. He called or emailed his bandmates and the video and said that this band will be touring with us.
Wow.
And that's it. And why I know this, it was because 2 months afterwards, King Diamond was in Oulu, and he invited us to his hotel room, and we had a chat about everything, and he was like, "I'm so looking forward to the tour." And
that's awesome. Like, especially the going through YouTube part. Like, King Diamond's using the modern way to find out bands.
Yeah. He was like awesome all the time. He had a food poisoning, and he pulled 2 gigs when still sick. He had he had to go backstage to puke and stuff like that. Sorry, I shouldn't have told this.
Giving him all, He's watching this on YouTube.
Don't kill me, King. So anyway, he was still very ill. Did a quick sound check, and we were in the back of the venue, and he was walking to the car, and saw us, and came in. Is everything okay with you? Like, yeah, definitely. How about you? Well, still feel very bad, but I'm gonna do it tonight. And like, wow. But it's good that everything is good with you, and I'll go to the hotel now. Hey, yeah, thank you. And like, even though he was ill, he came to us like to talk and make sure it's okay with us.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So did you get to totally nerd out with them then? Like ask all your King Diamond questions? Like, I'm assuming you're a big fan.
Yep, I am, but maybe not that kind of a big fan that knows facts about him. Mm-hmm. And also, I don't want to be the person that's asking the questions all the time because they have the work to do, and he's not that much at the venue anyway. But some of the guys did, especially those who could talk about the occult stuff and stuff like that.
I see. He's eating breakfast. Yeah. King, I have one more question for you. Guys, all right.
No, I was mostly polite, and we had a little small talk every now and then.
What's going on with Winterwolf?
We were supposed to record the new album earlier this year, but we wanted to, spend some time with the songs. We have all the songs ready. Hopefully in the summer we'll go to the studio.
Yeah,
it's going to be very different. And remember, it may sound very Demilich-like some of the things, but it was I've done some riffs there and there, but it's mostly done by Corpse. And he was in Demilich playing bass in the USA too, so he's kind of and he's explored music more. So now there are like very, very weird things.
It's got the influences that kind of can take it. It's not just you that's all, and the weirdness.
Yeah,
or whatever.
And psychedelic things and stuff like that. But it's really good. It's like I'm looking forward to people hearing it. Awesome. I know there will be those who expect album number 2 to be just like the first one. It's not gonna be. There will be good riff parts and stuff like that, but then again, very weird. Yeah.
Your album's out and you're on Necropolis Records, a label that's pretty much kind of black metal. And, it is the 90s. It is kind of with death metal and black metal more so because death metal, kind of was going first, and you're getting more and more popularity of black metal. And there started to be a divide. And being on Necropolis, being a death metal band, where it is more black metal, did it start to get stupid for you? Like noticing stupid things, people treating you certain ways, or never really?
Well, everybody treated everybody stupidly back then. I think we were the first album through Necropolis, I think. So Paul was more into death metal back then when we started negotiations and stuff like that, and then fell in love with black metal. So that's why he started doing those things mostly. He was happy about us and loved the music and stuff like that, but it quickly turned to black metal label. But then the genre wars started, and I was like, that's when I started thinking that this is not worth it.
Right.
Like if we are on a gig and there are black metal kids in front of the row shouting for Beherit for our set all the time, and it's like if they don't want us, why play?
Right.
And then that was the one funny story. Then I ended the gig like saying, well, keep your fucking Beherit, and walked out, played the full set though. And then Janne Demonosova of Barathrum heard that and told Marko of Beherit that Antti had publicly dissed your band. Marko didn't talk to me anymore. I thought that he didn't talk to me because of the genre wars.
Right.
And we were like 1.5 years when we were like this. And then once in a bar, I saw him again there. I went there and, hey, could you tell me what's the problem?
Yeah.
And then he explained, oh, fuck. So we haven't been talking to each other for 1.5 years
For that.
because one friend of ours
Wow.
exaggerates things.
I was just gonna say, I mean unless you didn't say that, it didn't sound like an insult. It just sounded like, well, shit, you're not respecting me. Like, so take your fucking band that you want, and watch them.
Yeah, it was that.
Yeah.
And of course, Marco understood immediately. Like, okay, of course.
Well, Antti, it's been awesome having you. Yeah, that intimate there. It's so hard he can't even get your arms moving there. Absolutely appreciate you coming on the show. And if you're one of those people, you've been hating Demilich for all these years, didn't go on YouTube to check him out. Continue to hate him. But if you do want to check him out, we've made it simple for you and put a link in the description so you can check him out, get a hold of the stuff, and the work has been done for you, so there's no more excuses. Check out other weekly videos, hopefully Demilich Live, and we'll see you next time. Cool, man.
Adios.